This is America. Oh my goodness. So when I heard about this story, I gotta be honest with you, I wasn't really shocked. I wasn't really surprised because I've been so desensitized to police brutality over the years. Story after story after story after story. And it's stories like this, honestly, that enrage me when it comes to the Republican Party. Because they'll turn around and scream and cry about January 6th and how Joe Briggs got 17 years and he has a family, he has a wife and kids, and how this person got 20 years and that person got double digits. They'll scream and cry about the unfair justice system that befalls them and then turn around and when it's a black person who's been wrongfully accused or wrongfully charged, unfair, sentence, they'll turn around and say, well, you're a criminal. That's what you get. I'm very much of the libertarian standpoint, and only on this issue for the most part, is if there's no victim, there's no crime. Me making a right turn on a red light because I failed to stop 3 seconds, who's the victim? Who did I injure? No one. But they'll be more than happy to give you a $160 ticket for a moving violation. They'll be more than happy to give you a ticket for you parked, 2 minutes over the time limit so that they can persecute you, because that's what they do. They punish American citizens, and they punish you enough to where they enslave you. And due to the 13th Amendment, which slavery is legal, mind you, it wasn't abolished, it is very much legal due to the prison systems. And that's what we have. And going on to the story is absolutely abysmal. You have the body cam footage of this officer, and he's laughing. He is just jolly about a horrible tragedy. A fatal incident that occurred of a 26-year-old, Giovanni, I believe is her name, who was hit by a patrol car. And he's laughing, talking about she's just a regular person. These are his words. She's just a regular person. Mind you, we'll just write off a check of $11,000. That's what he's saying. This is the type of stuff that these officers are saying.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead. No, it's a regular person. Yeah, just write a check. $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
This is what they believe. That's how they view themselves. That, hey, rest of us are just regular people, and then there are those higher upper echelon that they protect. So when it comes to protect and serve, yes, they do protect and serve, but it's not you and me. It's not the regular citizen. Never in my life have I called an officer or called the police to save me. That is completely opposite of why I have the Second Amendment. The whole point of me having the Second Amendment so I can defend myself. That's the whole point. I don't need to worry about as far as the police department. I don't need you. You guys are more so backup. And that's the issue with the Republican and the Democrat, because the Democrats want to admit the corruption that's going on with the prosecutors and the police department, but then try to limit our Second Amendment rights in many cases. Then you have juxtaposed that with the Republicans who want to talk about, more Second Amendment. I think people should have bazookas. But at the same time, then want to jerk off law enforcement. Talking about law enforcement is the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest thing. We should praise them. Thank you for what you do. And I'm just like, you guys are both clowns. Let me protect myself. Because I guarantee, if you look at the data, these officers respond to crime. They don't thwart it, right? They don't thwart it. For anyone who wants to say, hey, well, their presence thwarts crime. Guess what will be better than their presence? Me with my shotgun. How about that? Me with my AK-47. How about that? Don't worry about the officer. Worry about me who has the gun right here. That's what you need to worry about. So I am not very fond of law enforcement. I think the corruption within the law enforcement has tainted the entire system, has tainted the entire department, whichever department you go to, has tainted its relationship with the community, especially the black community. So I don't endorse them whatsoever. At all. But you begin to hear how they view American citizens in this call. In this call, which he thought was not being recorded. Regular person. No, she was just a regular person. She had limited value. Hey, we'll just pay $11K. And that's the issue. They believe, and it's very much rightfully so, that they can simply pay their troubles away. that, hey, if they do something wrong, due to the privileges that have been allotted to them, due to, I would say, a corrupt and racist Supreme Court, and that which has been shown throughout history that the Supreme Court is not always right, but due to this Supreme Court, they have given the police unlimited power, mind you, for the most part, unlimited power. You couple that with the relationships that they have with the DA and the prosecutors and the judge, then we are set up for failure. American citizens are set up for failure. That's what you have to understand. They feel that they can kill you and just write a check and everything's peaches and creams. So what we are in fact dealing with is not freedom. I find it hilarious when people talk about, oh, America's freedom, freedom, freedom. Now, mind you, we may have the best perception of freedom, better than every other country, but no, alas, this is not a free country. This is the furthest thing from a free country. We are just freer than all the other alternatives. Because when you have to deal with something, whether it's something in the legal system, you realize how limited your freedom actually is. Because you are only free if you have the money and the resources to be free. So for me, the whole place is a hellhole. That's how I view it. And this video it's atrocious. And the fact that this person, I don't know how you can reprimand this person. They're talking about firing him. What are you going to fire him for? For saying some words? So it's a bit bipolar when you try to be on the fence, when you play this lukewarm, timid position when it comes to law enforcement. I am not pro law enforcement. I am strictly and solely pro citizen. That is my stance. And I think this officer, along with the person he's talking to, should be fired. Because in order for this dialogue to even exist, there has to be a community. There has to be a certain workforce environment that breeds such ignorance, that breeds such flippant behavior towards American citizens. That's what has to happen. So instead of firing him, I would completely abolish the department. That's what I would do. The issue that many people have is not with law enforcement, but with the lax rules that apply to them. The fact that they can get away with, in some cases, murder. But it won't be deemed murder. It'll be deemed justified homicide or whatever, due to the laws that have been put in there to protect and shield them. Those same laws don't apply to us. Not even a fraction of those laws apply to us. So as I said before, and I'll say again, I am pro-citizen, not pro-police. And it's stories like this that, just reinforces that belief. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, look, it's just one officer, okay? It's just one officer. You're trying to blame the whole officer by one officer's actions. That's just not fair. Or if you don't believe, listen, okay? All it takes is one to spoil the bunch. That's all it takes. And if you think it's just one, well, then you live in a fantasy world, all right? That's not how it works. There's more than one. And I don't have an issue with corrupt officers. I have an issue with rules and laws and regulations that allow these officers to coexist with good officers who are trying to do good. Because it soils and it taints the badge. And it gives a bad perspective to everyone who is viewing law enforcement. Because I don't know if you're a good officer or a bad officer. Because the officer that looks like you, who's wearing the same uniform, the badge and everything, also is the same corrupt officer that I just had to deal with a few weeks back. So, don't know what to tell you. I would, in some cases, extremely limit law enforcement, or, instead of limiting them, I would put laws that allow them to be sued. Not the state, because that shields them, because they don't get anything on their pockets. I would allow them to be sued. I would take from their pensions, 100%. And you'd watch how instantly these officers would be on their best behavior, because money talks. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree with the video, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement days, which are typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. That fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. They don't thwart it, right? They don't thwart it.